I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We now move on to page 64 of the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook, and we'll look at chapter 10, Music in Context. And here we get the opportunity to answer little bits and bobs of anything that we've covered so far in relation to a little piece of music. So this is what you could call music analysis, really. And so we're going to look at this piece of music here and just see what's going on inside the bars, as it were, by answering the following questions. And so I do suggest that you just jump in and have a go. As I always say, and I know that I'm repeating myself again, however, do just jump in and have a go. Always work in pencil, and then if something isn't quite right, you can erase it, have another go, and you'll learn by your mistakes. It's okay, this is the time to actually make those mistakes and realise what isn't quite clear. And so here we have this little melody, just a short 8-bar extract. And we're asked to answer the following. So let's check these through together. Which bar has the same melody and rhythm as bar 1? So we are literally just using our powers of observation and just comparing. And so bar 1 is this first full bar. Bear in mind it's not this is the upbeat. We only count bar 1 as the first full bar, although they've helpfully numbered this for us. So bar 1 we have a key signature of F sharps and C sharps, we have F sharps, and then we have this little run of quavers, and just visually you can see here that bar 5 nicely underneath is exactly the same. Same notes, same pitch, same rhythm, same slur, everything. So there we are, bar 5. And then, how many bars contain ties? Now be careful here, we're looking for ties which join note head to note head individually to add the note values together, not an arrangement of different notes which have a slur, which means something completely different. It's a timing issue, not an articulation issue. So let's look what ties we can spot. So we have a tie, that's a slur, that's a tie joining F sharp to F sharp, making it 2.5 beats. That's a slur, so we don't want that. That's a tie, that's a slur, so that doesn't count. That's a tie, that's a tie. So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. It's fine just as long as you don't confuse ties and slurs. It's the same shape, just applied differently, isn't it? Now then, which bar contains all of the notes in the tonic triad of D major? So then, well, first of all, let's think about what we're actually looking for. No point going scurrying off till we know what we're looking for. The tonic triad is built up of the first, the third and the fifth. The tonic triad is built upon the tonic of D major, so D, and then build your triad from there, first, third, fifth. Of course, it's F sharp, but your key signature will deal with that. So we're looking for all of these notes, D, F sharp, A, in the same bar. It may not necessarily be in that order, but so long as all of those notes are present. So we have an F sharp here and a D, but no A. We have an F sharp, but nothing else. We have a D and F sharp, but no A. Here we have an A and an F sharp, but no D. So not quite all of the notes of the triad yet. So we've already looked at this, we know they are the same. We have an F sharp and an A, but no D. So here we have an F sharp, an A and a D, top D here. So bar 7 will answer that for us. Let's continue on. So is it true or false in each of these cases? Is it true or false that the first note in bar 4 is the subdominant degree of D major? Well, the subdominant is the 4th degree of the scale, if you remember. So 1, 2, 3, 4, starting on D as our tonic, then E is the supertonic. Just let's use this as a bit of revision. F is the mediant, and then G is the subdominant. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking to see if it's a G. So is the first note in bar 4 a G? And actually, no, it's an A, because we know the treble clef, every good boy deserves football. F, G would be the space, that's an A. And so that's false. Is it true or false that the melody should be played smoothly throughout? Well, we've already had a glimpse of this because we were looking for ties, not slurs, and yet we noticed there were lots of slurs. Every bar is slurred. We have one note that isn't. And so generally speaking, yes, that's true. Now then, which of the following bars will sound, they may be written differently, but which will sound the same as bar 6? Let's have a look at bar 6. And so we have, now let's think about the octaves. This is middle C. This is the F, and it's the F above that. And then we need to have it tied. However, don't forget this is an F sharp because of the key signature. Then we have E sharp, A, G sharp. So let's see what we've got here. So here we have the correct position of note F, but if you'll notice, there's no key signature. Neither is there an accidental, so in actual fact that's an F natural, not an F sharp, so that won't do, will it? Because of the key signature missing. Now then, what have we got here? This looks more promising. We have an F sharp and a C sharp to begin with, so we've got the key signature. But notice, although it looks about right, we have no tie. We've got the slur, but we've got no tie. So let's see what we've got here. So here, this is middle C. This is the F sharp, the key signature is there. And in actual fact, because it says an octave higher here, we're actually playing, what we're actually playing is here, which is exactly the same. We've got the tie, we've got the sharp, A, G sharp. So although it looks differently because of this octave higher symbol here, what we've actually got is exactly the same sound. So there we go. Now then, we're asked to show which of these bars shows bar 7 correctly rewritten with notes of half the value. So let's look at bar 7 first of all. So here we are in common time, which is 4/4, which means 4 crotchet beats per bar. And so in order to have half of that, we're going to have to go to 4 beats per bar, but each beat will be a quaver. So that will be, we're looking for 4/8. So that's present in all of those. So we know that's sorted in either case. However, let's look at what happens when we reduce everything by half. So we should have, instead of a dotted minim, we'll have a dotted crotchet, tied to, now this group of notes here will become demi-semiquavers, won't they? We need 3 beams there. So that's what we will be looking for. So we're looking for dotted crochet tied to a group of 4 demi-semiquavers. So here we have a dotted crochet F sharp. The key signature is there and it's tied to the correct notes and they are demi-semiquavers. That's correct. Let's see why these are not correct. So although the time signature is correct and this is correct, we're actually only in semiquavers here. We need demi-semiquavers. We should have another beam there. And here that looks like it should be correct, but we're actually the dot missing. And so that's why that one is not correct. And so that's the first exercise nicely completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. And for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.